The Andes Mountains, beautiful, ancient, and deadly. In 1972, a plane carrying 45 people crashed into these frozen giants. What followed was 72 days of terror, starvation, and decisions no human should ever face. This is the true story of the Uruguayan Flight 571. The team that died together, and somehow lived. It was October 13, 1972. A small plane, a Fairchild FH-227, took off from Montevideo, Uruguay. On board were 45 passengers, mostly young men from a rugby team called Old Christians, their friends and family. They were on their way to Chile for a match, laughing, joking, passing around snacks and guitars. It was supposed to be a short flight across the Andes. But the Andes have their own rules. As the plane crossed the mountains, clouds thickened, winds grew fierce, and visibility dropped. The pilots miscalculated their position, thinking they had already cleared the mountains. They began to descend. Then came the scream. The plane's tail clipped a ridge. The wings tore off. Metal screamed. The fuselage spun like a bullet through the air. "I felt the world turn white," one survivor later said. The aircraft hit the snow at over 200 kilometers per hour and slid down a glacier before finally stopping. 17 people died instantly. Others were crushed, broken, bleeding, trapped in a silent white world. When the survivors opened their eyes, all they saw was snow. No trees, no animals, no sound. Just endless white. They were 12,000 feet above sea level, freezing, starving, and surrounded by mountains. Radio contact was lost, and rescue crews couldn't find them. Days later, a voice on their small transistor radio broke their last hope. "The search for the missing Uruguayan flight has been called off." They were alone. The survivors rationed what they had: chocolate, a few bottles of wine, peanuts, and jam. When that ran out, they melted snow for water. They prayed. They cried. They waited. Then came the avalanche, a wall of snow that slammed into their fuselage while they slept, burying 8 more people alive. Now only 19 remained. Each night, temperatures dropped below -30 degrees Celsius. Frostbite, infections, broken bones, and starvation. They realized nature had one final test for them. After 10 days without food, death began to circle. Their bodies were weak, their lips cracked, their thoughts fading. Then, one of them, Nando Pardu, the captain's son, said the words no one dared to say aloud. "If we don't eat, we die. And those who died would want us to live." The others looked at him in silence. In front of them were the frozen bodies of their friends, preserved by the cold. At first they refused. Then hunger took over. They prayed, and did what no human should ever have to do. They cut small pieces of frozen flesh and shared them quietly, each in tears. "We ate to live," one survivor said. "It wasn't food. It was survival." Weeks passed. Snowstorms buried the wreckage. The survivors grew thinner, their faces hollow, their eyes ghost-like. Then, in December, after 2 months, 2 men decided to try the impossible. Nando Pardu and Roberto Canessa would walk across the mountains, on foot, to find help. They packed sleeping bags made from plain insulation, melted snow for water, and carried a few strips of dried human meat. For 10 days they climbed through ice and death. Their lips bled, their skin cracked, and the sun burned their eyes. They slept side by side in the snow, whispering prayers. And then, on the 10th day, they saw a river, and across it, a man on horseback. The man, a Chilean shepherd named Sergio Catalan, couldn't believe what he saw. 2 skeletal figures waving torn fabric, crying for help. He threw them bread across the river, then galloped for hours to bring help. Soon after, helicopters arrived, the first in over 2 months. They followed Nando's directions back to the crash site. 16 people were rescued. They had survived 72 days in the Andes. When news broke, the world was stunned. The headline read, "Rugby team survives by eating the dead." The media called them monsters. But when the survivors told their story, of prayer, of hope, of seeing death face to face, the world's judgment turned into awe. Even the Pope sent his blessing, calling their decision a testament to the will God gives to survive. Years later, Nando Pardu said, "I lost 29 friends, but gained the meaning of life." Most of the survivors went on to live quiet lives. Some became doctors, engineers, fathers. But they all carried one truth. They had lived through something no one could understand. They visit the crash site every year, to honor those who saved them in death. And the snow still covers the mountain like a silent tomb. The Andes still keep their secrets. Even today, when planes fly over that region, pilots sometimes report strange echoes on their instruments, as if the mountain remembers. Locals call the crash site El Valle de las Lágrimas, the Valley of Tears. And those who climb there say the silence is unlike anywhere else on Earth. As if the wind itself whispers the names of those who never came back. Some stories aren't about victory. They're about endurance. 16 men walked out of hell, not as heroes, but as proof that the human spirit can rise above the impossible. The Andes took their friends, but gave them life again. If this story gave you chills, like and subscribe to True Mystery Vault. Because here, we don't tell fiction. We tell the impossible truths the world tried to forget.